Oh.
So for this project today on the thermostat, now this is something that could break down while we're out on the road, right? So we're going to use the toolkit provided from Kawasaki for the KLR to change out our thermostat. Now, obviously, I'm not going to have a big enough socket in this kit to do the sprocket. Then we'll have to break out regular tools. But for this portion, this part of what's going on, I want to go ahead and utilize the tools that come with the bike. So let me get a catch basin real quick to catch the antifreeze as it comes out, because we definitely don't want the animals and stuff around here licking any of that up. So I'll get that rounded up real quick, and then maybe I'll bring one of the cameras in, see if we can't get a little bit more close up of the work we're doing. We're going to be using our small guy here. Make sure. It'll be a little tricky coming in behind this fairing, but it will work. So that does fit just fine. So once you get enough drained out, you should be able to tuck up and out of the way, and it'll stop leaking. Now we should have some out of the motor here a little bit too. And so now that we've got our thermostat with gasket on, we're just gonna make sure we made up real nice here. We're not tightening anything up here. We're going just in and finger tight. We're not looking for a lot of torque here. I didn't even look in the specs, but you know, it's just kind of been doing stuff long enough that when it feels right, it feels right. All right, so we just got our thermostat done. And I had a little bit of deformation on the gasket, which allowed it to break down over time. Now, that's no fault of the original installer, just kind of the way they sit in there. It was able to pinch that gasket a little bit. And that problem, sooner or later, was going to find a way to leak anyways. So, and you know, it went 8,000 miles, and even with the little bit of leak that came around this gasket, I was still able to ride that bike home. You know, I had to stop a little bit more, keep an eye on the coolant level and whatnot, but it wasn't that big of a deal. But if I left it, it would have became a big deal. And so this project was dead simple, man. It was 3 screws. Drain a little bit of fluid out into a bucket. I used the Kawasaki toolkit that came with the bike. And so these are the maintenance items that we should be doing on our own motorcycles. You know, thermostats, greasing a chain, changing your oil, that kind of stuff. That's dead simple stuff that gets us more confident in our abilities with our motorcycles, and it allows us to know that, hey, these maintenance things have been done. They've been done properly. And so don't be afraid to get into your motorcycle. There's you know, some parts of the motorcycle, there's more moving parts, and it seems a little bit, you know, more scary than other things. But, you know, that's the great thing about a riding community and having riding friends. Everybody's got a different skill set. And so we start out with these small little maintenance items, and learning how the systems work and how they correlate with one another eventually allows us to do things like my Ducati project. My Sprag clutch for the starter went out, so now I have got to split the case to even get to that component and rebuild it. And so if I'm going to split any part of the case, you know, I'm gonna do my timing belts while I'm in there. I'm gonna do my valves while I'm in there, because Ducati valves, it's easier with the motor completely off the bike to get them done. And then I've got an oil leak that's common to the 99 to 02 Ducatis, and so I'm gonna fix that as well. So that's round up more parts. That's taking more things apart and a lot of important components sit behind that side case on that motorcycle. So when I get into it, I want to make sure I've got a clean space and potential help if I need it, because I am going to be pulling the motor completely out of the bike to do the work to it. And it's not a light component. It's something I can move around on my own, but I don't want to drop it, damage it, something like that. So, but this is where it starts. The little bit of maintenance that you do on your bike, especially on a new bike, you're not going to have a ton for your first couple of years, your first 10, 15,000 miles, whatever. You're going to have oil changes, something simple like that. But the more we do it, the more we become familiar with our machine. And just like our riding capabilities, the more we do it, the more confident and the more controlled we are in the way that we handle our machines. And maintenance is the exact same way. Now, I was going to try to do this and the 16-tooth sprocket in the same video, but you'll see on the 16-tooth sprocket video that it was more in depth, and I had a few snags and stuff along the way, and so it just became too long to put both of the videos out as one, so I'm going to break them down. And so thanks for sticking around with me on this install, and hopefully you guys are starting to get into your own maintenance. I know obviously a lot of you do your own maintenance, but for the younger riders, the newer riders, hopefully you guys are starting to get in and doing your own maintenance and really learning how your machine works. And again, thanks for sticking around. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, make sure you got notifications on, so as these videos come out, you guys can watch them. And again, if you guys want to have some ideas for anything, hit me up in the comments, and if it's something we can accommodate, we'll sure try. Thanks.